Hi everyone, and welcome to the weekly Scopes from the 4th of December right up until the 10th. So we've got a lot going on this week, from Neptune going stationary direct. We've also got a full moon. So yeah, I'm just going to start talking. So on the 4th of December, Neptune goes station direct at midnight AM GMT. So when Neptune goes direct, we may be forced to confront the emotions, people, situations that we've been hiding from. When Neptune was retrograde, it was easier for us to run into our fantasy worlds and ignore the calling to deal with any emotional or psychological problems. But now it'd be harder for some of you to do so, especially if you've got strong Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter, Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio, or Mars energy in your chart as well, or aspects. You may find it harder to bury yourself from these issues, and you will be able to confront anything that you have been putting off, although some of you will try harder and dig your heels in to stay in a state of numbness or not wanting to confront your issues, so you go into your self-destructive habits and continue running away from your problems. The positive of Neptune direct is that it encourages creativity and trust. So this energy is supporting you to get real with the toxic relationships and emotions and thoughts that are holding you back, and deal with them head on if you feel brave enough to do so. Because Neptune is going direct in Aquarius, some of you may be more interested in developing your spiritual, psychological, or emotional development. So it supports that. Others of you will be interested in humanitarian issues, allowing yourself to become more vulnerable to, your inner world and your real expression. So for some of you, this will be joining groups, social or political groups that are working to better things for a community or for a nation. Some of you will choose to work alone on a spiritual idea, medical, technological idea that can help yourself or others as well. So all in all, Neptune going direct in Aquarius means that the planetary support is giving you the opportunity to take on new perspective, change your old belief systems, especially those relating how you deal with your emotions, addictions and psychological state, because again, Neptune is the planet of mystical spiritual happenings, but it's also the planet of addictions and the ways we lie to ourselves and the things we keep hidden from ourselves and others that we should really look at solving, like any psychological and emotional issues that you have going on. If you're finding it hard, go and get some help to support you through this. And this work of this energy that is basically trying to call you to grow as an individual, and for all of us collectively to grow as a collective, as a species. Also on the 4th of December, the moon will enter the constellation of Aries. You and others may communicate more directly and thoughtlessly, going after what you want without thinking about others' reactions or feelings. The moon in Aries can be a highly emotionally unpredictable time. People are more likely to go with their gut feelings, their intuition, rather than rational thought. So this is good in some respects, because we should always trust our guts, but at sometimes, because people are just impulsive, they may get the wrong end of the stick of the argument or what you're saying and just blow up emotionally in your face or take offense to whatever you're saying. Also, when the moon's in Aries, some people can be more self-conscious and, as I mentioned, more sensitive to their environment and the people in it. People can get highly irritated, but this irritation is caused mostly by impatience. So try to be as patient as you can and avoid going to the extremes to get your own way. Try and ask people nicely and respect their boundaries. On the other hand, even if you are generally more shy, you can become more assertive and have more courage and self-assurance, which is also good energy for setting boundaries, especially if you're a bit of a people pleaser and stuff. This moon in Aries allows you to really stick up for yourself, but as I said earlier, try not to go overboard, because it's good not to let others walk over you, but we must always remember to respect others' opinions, needs and boundaries as well. Aries energy is ruled by Mars, so this is our motivational energy, controls our sex drives, our thought drives, our physical drives. So it's good for raw business, self-promotion and all forms of physical activity, exercise. Taking the initiative and doing what needs to be done can bring great leaps forwards in career or personal projects. Competitiveness can also be really, really high when the moon's in Aries, because people in general can refuse to take second place. So it's good for you to assert yourself, put yourself out there, compete only with yourself, I would say. But if there are promotions and things going on and things that you want to go after, like a love interest and things like that, don't shy away, go for it, because sometimes in life we've only got that one chance. But again, you respect people's boundaries and stuff like that. When the moon is in Aries, there can be a strong dislike of limitations and a thirst for freedom. The negatives of this transit are short tempers, as mentioned before, impatient action, which can cause mistakes or accidents. There can also be problems with friends and family more than usual. The best use, so if you're really going to channel yourself and put your all in and use this vibration, start new ventures and look for fresh opportunities, look for fresh solutions in any existing projects and that you've got going on. Think outside the box and try, if you've been stuck in a rut, don't rush ahead, just take some time out and think about how can I go about this project in a different way. Use moderation and restraint to avoid mistakes and accidents, waste of time, energy and other resources right now. It's also best to think before you act or react, check facts before making decisions and you will succeed. And again, if I say this because this Aries energy can really push people over the edge, respect the needs of others as well as assert yourself and protect your own boundaries. For you farmers out there, when the moon's in Aries, it's an excellent time to harvest and store your crops, cultivate your ground or your land or your garden, eliminate weeds and insects. And it's also good to mow and fertilise lawns for those who are still doing that. In my country, England, we're not doing that so much now, but if it's hotter where you are, then go ahead. On the 4th of December, the moon enters its waxing gibbous period, which is the period just after the full moon. Now is the perfect time to reflect on your progress, on any goals you're working towards, especially wellness, relationship and career ones. You might find it useful to write down or voice note your emotions and thoughts right now, refining or developing a new strategy to achieve your ambitions if you're struggling. Other key themes of this moon phases are transformation, organisation, strategizing, looking at the bigger picture and seeking truth and digging deep within. Also today on the 4th of December, the sun starts its strongest quincunx to the moon's north node. So this supports a form of networking, socialization. But because this is a quincunx we're talking about, so it's kind of like a problematic energy, you will have to try and adjust your approach as well, because you've got the moon in Aries, people being impatient, impulsive, going after what they want. But for some of you, no matter how much you try to get close to others, you won't be able to. And this can be because of battles of ego, contradictory opinions, not agreeing with each other. This can lead to arguments. There can also be a risk of people saying and doing whatever they want to get what they want. So this kind of is a double whammy, as I mentioned, because the Aries energy can make people do that as well. So yeah, all in all, just watch out for the tendency to kind of overstep boundaries and allow others to overstep yours. So yeah, that's the 4th of December. On the 5th of December, we've got Venus entering Sagittarius at 12:27 p.m. midday GMT time. So yeah, when Venus is in Sagittarius, we can become more attracted to anything and everything that comes our way. We'll be more convinced of the virtues of this person or a place, because for some of you it just be a place. You may find a new nightclub or an online forum, think, hey, this is the best place ever, put all your guards down, don't do any background checks, you just meet someone who you think, or someone who you think are cool, go all in without really knowing them well. Now, for some of you, this will work out because some of you, you'll be in tune with your intuition and you've already intuitively know that this person or situation can be good for you. For other of you, you may be cut off from your intuition at this stage, so you may make some wrong choices. But especially if you're more of the sensitive type of person, it can be hard for you to resist adopting an inflated view of someone or someone, putting them on a pedestal and thinking, oh my gosh, my life has changed forever, sort of thing. Therefore, this could be a spiritual concept or, as I said, a person. And just be careful, because as you get to know them, the illusions that about who you thought this thing or person was crumble as your idealism wears off. And you start to see people and places and things for what they are instead of what you wish them to be. So this is the key note. When Venus is in Sagittarius, we can just want freedom, or we can just want to just do what we want and want some adventure. And because of this call for adventure, especially in our romantic affairs, we can just ignore the red flags. We can also do this with anything that we're interested in. So this could be anything from a game to, like I said, an online forum sort of situation, or any sort of group. We can just go in, do too much and forget to check into what, if it's a message that someone's saying, like a group you join in, what is their central message, core philosophy of this group? Are they who they say they are, or are they just putting on sort of like a front? And 9 times out of 10 people can put on fronts when Venus is in Sagittarius. So even though you may be all loved up, it'd be wise, to take a step back and assess reality rather than blindly trust what you're seeing or hearing right now, because doing this will stop the heartbreak from setting in as you move on past this situation and leave you more open. Because sometimes in life we can get hurt a few times and then cut ourselves off, and then not in a bad way, but because sometimes when we are hurt, or we believe that all we deserve is pain, so then we go seeking pain, or we can attract that to us. So when Venus is transiting in Sagittarius, some of you be more into one night stands, and you be versing this, battling against this with commitment. Idealistic notions, so believing in what you want to believe, versus empirical facts, the truth of the situation. If you're already in a relationship, it can be a battle between growing together or growing apart. People can want to be swept off their feet more and amazed and be surprised and shocked and be a bit more spontaneous, as I said, with this energy. It's a time when new opportunities can come your way, especially in the romantic, beauty, appearance, inner belief sort of areas of your life. And you can make a choice to go with them or to think them out a bit. And it's best to just think them out a bit. Don't become paranoid or anything like this, but just make sure that you try and ground yourself in reality. Communication is key rather than assume, something about someone or a situation. Ask the right questions, because sometimes we don't ask questions, we assume things, and then what we assume is never what the situation is. So ask those important questions and do all you can to work through any relationship difficulties that you're going through. Also, on the 5th of December, Mercury makes a sesquiquadrant to the Moon's North Node. So again, another aspect that's calling you to watch out for any manipulation, as there can be an increase in the need to socialise, to run away from our emotions, to tap into that Venus in Sagittarius energy. So you may, like I said, socialise online more, go out more into physical spaces, nightclubs, restaurants, pubs and stuff like that. And you can be open to more scams and lies because of the climate as well, economic climate. There's a lot of that going on. So again, don't be paranoid, but just please look after yourself and be open-minded. Embrace what comes to you right now, but rather than jump all in, have your guard up just a little bit, not enough to push people out and situations out, but enough to be able to smell the bull crap if there is bull crap there. Mercury, sister quadrant to the moon's north node, can also be an intellectually, psychological and spiritually stimulating time where you can have good conversations, deep and meaningful conversations with others that go into some depth. Mercury also makes a square to Jupiter today, which can make some of you more confused, negligent and lazy in your thinking, making promises on things you cannot deliver. People can also bend the truth, exaggerate, which can lead to disappointment. But this is a good energy if you have done the preparation work beforehand to make crucial decisions and ask for help from those who are able to support you at this time as well. So yeah, that's the 5th of December. Also, on the 6th of December, the moon enters void of course at 1:54 a.m. So moon void of course is when some astrologers suggest that it's best to delay essential things like meetings and important sort of projects and stuff, because the moon is not making any major aspect but it's still making minor aspects. So I'm from the school of thought of, although I do these astrology horoscopes, my stance is from a holistic and practical perspective where I tell you what's going on so you can avoid the pitfalls of the negatives of the energy or use the positives of the energy to improve your life. So yeah. So on the 6th of December, the moon enters the constellation of Taurus at 9:33 a.m. So people can be more focused on career and financial security at this time rather than try new things. Practicality is the key theme of the moon transit in Taurus period. The moon is elated in Taurus, so this means it's a good position in astrology for the moon to be, because it can balance out the emotional aspects with the moon helping you to look at your emotions more practically, but negatively it can make you just not look at emotions at all and lead to you being a bit emotional, constipated and cold. But yeah, ultimately, because the moon is said to be in a good position when it's in Taurus, this supports progress in whatever you set your mind and actions towards right now. It can also be an excellent time to sort out issues, especially business issues, investment issues and stuff like that, anything to do with paperwork and practicality. Because this energy, moon in Taurus, gives you the ability to remain composed and calm and be more loyal and consistent in intimate business and other relationships and just in life in general, in your own personal goals. So it makes you be able to just focus on them a little bit more, so making it also perfect energy to take care of bills and do financial planning, spending time with family and friends or anyone else, enjoying the luxuries of life like the comforts and having a good family meal together, playing games or enjoying some other form of entertainment together can bring comfort to you right now. So you can do this with others or on your own, some self-care if you live alone and you're single. Negatively, people can become more possessive and stubborn and selfish, not wanting to share and looking down on others that they view as being less than them. So those who they think are poorer than them, don't wear good enough clothes, talk well enough and stuff like that. There can also be overspending and overindulgence in food, drink and intoxicating substances. Plus some people can be more materialistic than normal. The best use of the moon in Taurus energy is to commonize and plan, making time to solve any problems with your self-esteem, love and beauty. If you don't save, now is a great time for you to start doing so. If you do have investments, you should check that they are secure and consolidate them, reduce them and just make sure they're okay and do what you need to be done. And also a good time to look for new, fresh investment opportunities as well. For you horticulturists out there, if you put in hard work, the transit of the Taurus moon vibration will reward you during harvest time. So now it's great for planting vegetables such as parsnips, turnips, beets, sweet potatoes, radish, maca and carrots. And if you want to slow the growth of your plants for any reason, now is the time to trim your field and use any growth training methods that you know. Also, today, Mercury makes a sextile quadrant to Uranus, so people can have weird ideas or inflexible opinions, which is only exacerbated by the moon being in Taurus. So people can be really stubborn, so this is really adding to that energy, and this can cause arguments. People can also be more anxious and worry more and become more excitable, because some people may be looking for drama and adventure. Positively, this supports original ideas and self-expression. There can also be breakdowns in communication, as the Sun also makes a quincunx to Uranus today, doubling the unpredictability, setbacks and plans, and people potentially misusing their power. But nevertheless, this energy of the Sun making a quincunx to Uranus allows for you to continue or to start to make great transformations in your life, especially in your creative thinking and actions and self-expression. So yeah, that's the 6th of December. On the 7th of December, the Sun makes an opposition to transit Mars, so bad moons can ruin positive actions. People can be more aggressive than usual, and some may bully others into giving them what they want. It's kind of like a very forceful week this week, isn't it? Yeah. Also, when Sun makes the opposition to Mars, absent-mindedness and rush actions can increase the risk of accidents or mistakes. Proven enemies can make life worse for you right now, and the worst end of the spectrum, people can plot to sabotage you, and you can make new enemies as well under this transit because of the stubbornness of Taurus saying no and digging your heels in, and this may make someone who asks you for something a bit vengeful, and they may plot to do something to harm you. Venus also makes a sextile quadrant to the moon's north node today, so this adds to the heatedness of conflicts. But also, because we are talking about Venus here and the moon and emotions and stuff, this energy can also help you reduce tensions in relationships and to try and solve problems amicably, with everybody who's involved needs considered and accounted for. So yeah, that's the 7th of December. Okay, so on the 8th of December, we've got a lot going on. We've got a full moon. We've also got the moon entering Gemini and the moon going into void, of course. So I think I'm going to start with the full moon because it happens, the exact placement of the moon exactly making its opposition to the sun happens before anything else. So yeah, the full moon starts at 4:08 a.m. on the 8th of December. So the full moon happens when the moon is opposite the sun. Some of you may focus on finishing things, others may experience illuminating revelations either through your own exploration or from the words or actions of others. It's a good time to think about projects that need to be finished and plan to take steps to overcome any obstacles that you're making right now. Some people may decide to let go of a relationship, and others may start or continue the work of dealing with any self-destructive habits or thoughts that holds them back from living a more authentic life or living life simply on their own terms. So you may give up on living up to other people's expectations, or at this specific time period over the next few weeks or months decide to make plans to do so. Negatively, the full moon can make us act irrationally and be quick to anger. There can also be tension between the conscious and subconscious minds, the more feminine and masculine aspects of yourself. Professional and domestic responsibilities can also get in the way of each other, causing a conflict between what we should do and what we want to do, leading to a fragile psychological emotional state. There can also be an increase in bougie, showing off behaviour, also in self-confidence and esteem, which is kind of like good because it's good to feel great about ourselves. But with the full moon illuminating everything, people can do things to excess, such as excessive spending, socializing, eating, drinking or drug taking, that can cause you and others to crash and burn at a later date, or unexpected consequences can happen due to impulsive actions. So be cautious with all forms of speculation and in financial investments and spending and stuff like that, and also with what you say or do at this time. In ancient times, the full moon was said to cause an issue with digestion, so be careful of what you eat and drink at this time. as well as the information you take in and the people you spend time with, because all of these can affect your mood and actions right now. You may experience trouble with children or handling your own inner child who may demand special attention or be emotionally challenging. Ultimately, the sun opposes moon. The full moon period is a time, if you are prepared to put your mind and action to it, people can understand each other's perspectives more. So if you're willing to be open-minded, as I said, put your mind and action to it, you can keep the peace in any arguments that happen right now. But you will have to fight for this to happen. Even if it means overcoming your own prejudices right now, you have to want to do that. If not, arguments can just flare up and words and actions can be done, which can be hard to take back. This full moon takes place when the moon is in the constellation of Taurus and the sun is in Scorpio. So the most potent modes at this time are cardinal and fixed. So meaning with cardinal energy, people will be more enterprising and assertive than normal, seeking more independence and becoming ambitious. But the downside is people can be impulsive, inconsiderate and domineering. And with the fixed energies input, people can be more intense and controlling right now. Yet this gives the power to, if you want to use this mode correctly, to slow down and work steadily yet stubbornly towards your goal. So allowing you to be more focused and not fall into the pitfalls, as I said, of overspending and going over the top and wasting time in needless arguments and proving needless points and stuff like that. Fixed energy allows you to get to the bottom of things, so it's great for all types of research and investigation work. Negatively, this energy can make people more egotistical and intent on getting their own way because of the fixed energy of Taurus and Scorpio, making people just more wanting to be in their comfort zones and not really wanting to get out of it as well. So people can also be more focused on sex, relationships, the occult, spirituality, psychological and financial issues due to the influence of Scorpio and Taurus at the time of this full moon. There can be disagreements over communal assets or any joint projects, group work and stuff like that. But the best use of this energy is to try and work together to solve any intimate or other issues that come up. But this can be hard to do because, again, as I said, we can be more stubborn in what we want. But this stubborn energy is really good because it can, when used properly, respecting the needs and boundaries of others, can help you stay focused on your goals and what this energy is calling you to do, which I'll talk about later in a short while. People can just become more demanding at this time and intent on getting what they want or being honest, and they want the same from others as well. So this can be great for kind of counselling and work and strengthening all types of relationships and getting to the bottom of relationships problems and just trying to really relate to one another. But because, again, Scorpio sting is here and the fire of Taurus, because even earthy, it can be fiery as well. So if you can withstand the fire and the sting which comes with explosive words, then go for it. But after the air is cleared up, although you can get murky for a while, the truth will be revealed, and it is this truth that will set all involved free. But again, because people can really be sensitive right now to what is said, some people will hear what's being said, even if it is truthful, and even if they admit it is the truth, they still want to take some kind of revenge. So this can be instant revenge, so saying something spiteful to hurt you, or some kind of go away and plot to take some revenge against you for being honest, or you can be the one that do so, which they serve up in the long run. Because after all, we're dealing with the two signs, Taurus and Scorpio, who will cut their own nose off to spite their own face. Also at this time, some people can get fascinated with life, death, spirituality and other topics of death, which can turn people on or off. Taurus energy provides the ability to remain practical and stable as you research the deeper meanings of life and as the next few weeks progress. So it's perfect for setting or continuing exercise, work, creative or other routines, yet some people may fear the unknown and resist those who try to introduce new ideas into their life right now, even though newness can be what you need right now. But again, Taurus and Scorpio can make us all stubborn and not see what's good for us. So this can make people run into their comfort zones or overindulge in food, drugs or alcohol due to uncomfortable emotions being felt or situations feeling uncomfortable accessing them, and this can make you just want to soothe yourself a bit. But at this best, this energy supports practical and creative expressions and solutions. So although you may want to just numb yourself, we're all guilty of it as well. Try and do your best not to overindulge and just try and partake in some healthy self-care and look after yourself in some healthy ways, or get help if need be to tackle these emotions that come up if you're feeling really affected by what is said and what is done, because people can say some harsh words this full moon. Energy is also great for artistic types to take care of the practical end of their artistic creations, or paperwork and stuff. The moon's conjunction with Mars provides the willpower to see things through and be a leader rather than take other people's leads at this time. Adversely, the moon's conjunction with Mars can make you insensitive to others' feelings. However, Mercury's conjunction with Venus provides the support to listen to others and talk and respond to them calmly, regardless of how they act with you. So that's what life's about. It's about trying to be as centered as we can in our own energy, but it can be hard to do at some stages. But do your best to, if someone's shouting, swearing at you, to just distance yourself, walk away, say, come back to me when we can have a nice, polite conversation, but probably try not to do that, because when people are heated, those sort of calming strategies sometimes can not turn out good, so just walk away for fails. The Sun also makes an opposition to Mars, which may make those with intense Pluto, Mars, Scorpio, Aries, fire or other strong earth sort of like energy or aspects in their natal charts use bullying tactics to get what they want. It's essential to not be aggressive while trying to be assertive and giving other people the space to respond, as well as having your own say. The Sun's quincunx to Uranus falls this unpredictability in moons, and you may be unable to cope with all of this changeability right now, and you will have to use sort of like inner determination that's being supported by many transits. So even though lots of crazy Scorpio, Taurus energy, stubbornness is going on, there's lots of aspects, transits that are giving you the willpower to make the internal adjustments needed to reach your goals, avoid conflict or reduce conflict, and fulfill your commitments. The ongoing square between Uranus and Saturn further supports that this energy can be used to overcome feelings of inadequacy, thinking that you're not enough, and any personal issues. You can start working through them to do with self-respect or worth, understanding and love. Venus and Mercury are also both making a square to Jupiter at the time of this full moon, which can overwhelm some people with the sheer force of ideas and opportunities that can be offered right now, causing you to miss out as you fail to choose. So if this happens, you don't know what choice, so this can be a choice between two lovers, two jobs, or whatever else is going on right now. Write down the pros and cons of each choice and do the things that are most practical, and trust your gut on this, but also keep an open mind and tread carefully. Watch out for making promises you cannot keep, and watch out for the fact that other people will do that. So know that this kind of vibration can make other people let you down, even if they don't intend to. So have sort of like a backup plan, and not to be all pessimistic about anything that's offered right now, but just, as I said, just tread carefully and keep your options open, but not too open. Venus' square to Jupiter can make some of you more self-centered right now in romantic issues, and some people may intentionally go out of their way, saying and doing what they need again to get what they want. So yeah, this week is a very manipulative, slippery kind of week. But anyway, so yeah, people can be insincere which can again add to disappointments that you already feel and enchant any arguments that you're already having in your love life. And although I said this is a slippery week with people being manipulative, the moon and the sun square to Neptune can actually make some people want to be lied to and want to be deceived. And as I mentioned earlier, Venus is going into Sagittarius and people can be idealistic. So all of these factors are feeding into that. And self-deception can also be high as well, as people want to do anything to escape their inner pain or boredom right now. So basically, yes, some of you will want to be fooled right now, and this can cause problems in the long run. So try and get to the root of the problems, which is going to be hard because you want to escape into reality. Not into reality, into fantasy. So, but try and get to the root of why you want to be lied to. Why don't you want to confront your emotions? And I know it's hard and stuff, but try and get to the bottom of why, if you are in an avoidance state, why you're doing that. But all of this square energy, because it causes friction and conflict, it supports creativity, self-reflection, and an increase in intuitive or logical reasoning. And although there may be heartbreaking experiences that you have and go through right now, all of these serve to bring your attention to the situations or people you must do your best to let go of slowly, as well as the psychological, emotional wounds you need to start working on or continue to work on releasing. Venus also makes a semi-sextile to Pluto, and Mars also makes a semi-sextile to Uranus. So what these bring to the table is that some people may receive public praise for doing something well done. Negatively, a secret can be exposed, affecting your social status. And because this is happening full moon in Gemini as well, and the negative of Gemini energy can be to gossip and talk and communicate more, this could be reality for some of you. So just be careful of what you say and what you believe in right now. But again, as I said, some of you want to believe in lies. So yeah, but all in all, Venus is sextile to Pluto and Mars is semi-sextile to Uranus, and that was Venus's semi-sextile to Pluto, gives you a chance to be more optimistic about your life despite your problems. Have some fun, be grateful for what you have and what you may be offered right now. And it also allows you to step up in crisis situations, become more organized, be more fresh in your solutions to your problems, thinking outside of the box. This energy, especially the Uranus and Mars semi-sextile, can make people place weird bets to settle disputes or brighten up your work day. So someone may be, oh, I'll give you this bar of chocolate if you can not talk all day, and just things like that. Or if you give me your chocolate bar, then I'll be your friend again. Sort of, I don't know, weird, childish maybe, sort of like vibes. So yeah, Mars and the Moon makes a trine to Saturn as well. So this provides the self-confidence to take bold and determined action to fix your problems and plan for a more abundant and practical future by committing to take positive actions daily to reach your many goals. Security can be found if you make the transformations in the only place you have control of them, and that is within yourself. With willpower, you can make a strategic plan formulated with humility, positioned to build self-discipline, assurance, understanding, love, resilience, healing and forgiveness, steadily changing your lifestyle with affirmative words, relaxation, self-care and hard work. The Moon semi-sextile to Uranus and Jupiter sextile to Pluto back up that divine and earthly support will be made available for those who choose to do all they can to reach their highest potential right now. The ongoing Jupiter sextile Pluto transit is the strong power that provides and proves that you can achieve a lot if you're willing to seek out and be open to intuitive guidance right now. Some may walk a more spiritual, mystical, self-aware path, researching the more significant meanings of life right now, including the unknown. And as you know, humans can be scared of uncertainty. This is why we love to stay in our comfort zones, but this sort of energy is helping us to get out of it if you want to, because nothing's fixed. The energy's there and it's up to you. Ultimately, you have free will to choose to use it or not. Now, also at the time of this full moon, the moon is in the 22nd degree of Taurus, And the tagline for this is a white dove over troubled waters. So this is symbolising once again that if you're willing to work hard for your uncontrolled desires, psychological and emotional trauma and pain and anything else you've got going on, addictions or anything like that, finding ways to release your self-destructive habits and thoughts in positive and life-affirming ways rather than energy-draining and toxic ways. Some of you may get the calling from within to do so, to let go. And if you listen to it, and if you truly have had enough of living life in a cycle of highs and lows and highs, being driven by your self-destructive behaviours and thoughts, some of you may vow to make the healing and management of yourself and your issues your primary focus, letting practical action and faith lead the way in your new commitment to change yourself. The sun is also in the 22nd degree of Scorpio, and the tagline is hunters starting out for ducks. So what this means is, the symbolism here is when we can accept our shadow traits, because hunting and ducks, it's killing basically. And I'm not saying go and kill, it's not like that, but it's about acknowledging our darker selves rather than pushing them away. Because when we do this, acknowledge the things within ourselves that we dislike, at times fear can surface, but once you start to admit these things to yourself, and it's not easy to look at yourself in the mirror and your dark traits and all the rest of it, but no, all of us humans have flaws, and it doesn't make them right or wrong, they're just there. And if we want to change ourselves and our world for the better, each person who's able to can commit to the daily practice of taking small steps to better themselves. These changes won't come overnight. There'll be many failures, that these will remind you that you are on your way to great success. And sometimes we get downbeaten, don't we? Because it's like, oh, I've been trying for years and I can't do it, and just keep on going. And yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're going to get everything you want, because you maybe not, but if you keep on trying, you at least get some of it. And it's better than just waking up every day and doing your comfort zone things and then getting mad at yourself and depressed on yourself because you're not doing what you want. It's much better to try and at least be working towards creating a better life for yourself. On the collective level, this degree is asking us to be less critical of people, especially those who have different cultural, intellectual, social, emotional, religious, psychological, sexual expressions than our own. So ask instead, what can I learn from this person? How can I meet them halfway? The only way to do this is to take your time to heal and manage your own psychological and emotional wounds. By learning to care, understand, have empathy, love and believe in yourself is how you can give the same to others. Committing to reject the decisiveness, fault-finding, finger-pointing, cancel and denial culture that's prevalent in our ever-increasing global world. Learning to channel your aggression into safe and consented outlets, from boxing, weight training or other exercises, playing the piano, knitting to gaming, graphic designing, songwriting, listening to poetry or anything else that helps you let out that aggression and manage your changing mood. So yeah, the full moon is asking you once again to release anything that stops you from stepping up and being who you really truly want to be. And although it can be scary to face our own inner darkness, remember that we have enough light within us that can guide us, even though at times you may think, oh, I'm a crap person, I've done too many crap things. Well, everyone's done something bad, and I'm not saying it's not a game of, well, your bad is worse than mine bad. Loving yourself can actually just help yourself, and not in an egotistical way, but true, real, authentic love that makes you take a real honest look at yourself and shows you how to balance your emotions and to get the best out of yourself, and so you can move forward from your pain and suffering. Also today, as I mentioned, the moon enters Gemini at 20:14, so 8:14 GMT time, but before that at 12:42 at midday the moon goes into void, of course, from Taurus, and so it's kind of like not making any major aspects. And then it moves into Gemini. So as I said earlier, when the moon's in Gemini, there can be an increase in communication. It's also good for all sorts of writing, research and reading, especially technical, scientific, medical or intellectual sort of research and reading and information gathering. In general, if you engage in deductive reasoning or intuitive guidance, there can be a lot of lively sort of discussion and an influx of ideas right now that can sort of like help you solve your problems or just make a deeper connections with people. You can also spend more time traveling and socializing with friends and locally than normally. Negatively, there can also be an increase in malicious gossip, biased thinking, superficial, trivially kind of speaking, and at worst, people can talk cap to get what they want, tell lies or do whatever, dragging, criticizing others, or having prejudiced opinions that cause verbal or on the extreme end physical conflict. People may use intellectual or psychological warfare to weaken their opponents or nervous tension may get the better of them, and restlessness can cause some people to become more irritable than normal over their inability to fix or cope with any confusion in the environment or thoughts right now. As well, this can make people more anxious. There can also be delays in critical communications and short distance travel that can also add to this sort of nervousness. People can also rationalize their emotions right now or use logic instead of their heart and their emotions, and this can cause problems in relationships. The best use of the moon in the constellation of Gemini is organizing your own or family matters, catching up on reading and replying to essential communications, carrying out research and anything else that broadens your knowledge bank, or take time out to sort issues rationally with your close ones and explore your community. For your gardeners out there, when the moon is travelling through the constellation of Gemini, it's a perfect time to store roots and fruits, cultivate your land and plant all types of melon or zucchini seeds and cucumber, squash and courgettes and curcumins and things like that. So yeah, that's the 8th of December. On the 9th of December, Venus makes a sextile quadrant to Uranus, so unexpected events can cause happiness or disappointment, especially in hookup and romantic matters. This can be a highly volatile energy, so think twice before making or believing in promises. Mercury also makes a semi-square to Saturn, which allows for serious thinking, action and words, but can also make some people close-minded, finding it easy to blame or criticise others rather than see their own negativity right now. Miscommunication or understanding or unwillingness to listen can also further the tension and make things explode, and people can say harsh words or actions as well. The moon enters the void, of course, again at 3:55 today as well. So yeah, that's the 9th of December. There's no major aspects on the 10th of December, and because this has been a full moon week, I'm going to wrap this up here. So yeah, that's the weekly scopes from the 3rd of December right up into the 10th. Take care and see you next week.